So, welcome to the show. Yo, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? My name is Angel Acosta. You can follow me on Instagram at phenomenalangel.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at phenomenalangel. Um, I just want to give a little bit of an input because I've been watching a little bit of this Google and Congress thing, and it was pretty interesting stuff. And being someone that's been using Google for about, I don't know, for a good amount of time, maybe 10 years now. Uh, First of all, congratulations to Android and for 10 years. 10 years of bringing this operating system to users like me that really utilize this as a tool for the better of everything. So I just wanted to throw some insight. I guess my whole thing is, regardless of what it is, Google might do its things, and for its own very good reasons and whatnot. Me, however, I trust Google. Regardless of what, I trust Google. I believe that they're amongst the last companies that really protect people's privacies. Believe me, it's pretty difficult to, try to tap into. And I'm going to give you this as an example. I have a backup account, right? And I use that more often today in the present time. I don't like to use the original one I created with Android from 2008 because after so many years, there's a lot of spam on it, and I don't know. I just feel sometimes when I want to receive an email or something, I really trust Google system to kind of protect my privacy for the most part. That's where I'm really thankful for Google and everything like that. And you better believe that Google is the last, the last key to balance, and it's very important that it remains like that. I think Congress should really, you know, trust Google. If anything, you should try to work with Google. I know there are some things that we can all agree that are better for everybody. Situations come up. It's nice to work with each other. It's nice to recognize the potential we all have. And more than all, I really trust Google. I wouldn't want to be in an opposing side if something were to happen, and we put aside Google, and the reason for them protecting us could be a big reason for them to leave too. And I wouldn't want to see that. I'm actually all for Google continuing to do what it does because more than anybody, I think they know what it takes to really guide people with the proper safety, and they're very informative as far as explaining any questions people may have. I really think they do a spectacular job in going beyond that. They provide apps, with learning tools such as understanding the Android system a little bit better, and using this Android system for like 10 years now. Just because I like Android, I've never had a reason to give it up. I personally don't have anything against Apple. I actually like Apple computers, for different types of designs and things of the sort. I've just never really got to play with an iPhone, to be honest. And I mean, just as much as probably anyone that's never used an iPhone, I don't have anything against them. I mean, they're great devices, but I've never had a reason to give up my Android. I think Android goes above and beyond many things that I don't think people have really started to really acknowledge. I really like the whole concept of having the world in your hand. You can really use it for specific tools just to get ahead in life or whatever you want to do. It's like your own little companion. It really is like a modern day sidekick. It really is. And that's kind of like the first device I started using too. Um, I started kind of getting more into the technology aspect with the handheld devices just because I always believed that there would be a time we might actually have like a TV in our hand. And who would have thought now we have like internet, music, and everything at, you know, at just imagination. If we could imagine that something probably exists out there in the Android market or the Google market, Play Store, I mean, I think it all stems off of different variations of, platforms that really provide the user to experience something new. I think, which is kind of like the beginning of that future that we used to see in the past. Well, me personally, and So I've been into this really for quite some time now. So, if I could just throw my opinion out there, more than all, I just want to say, I really, I really think people should just work together when it comes to things like that. Um, Believe me, I'm a paranoid person myself, but when it comes to this sort of thing, I like testing myself, and I like seeing if I'm a type of person um, that always changes my passwords just so I'm always keeping it fresh in my mind. And sometimes I kind of just test myself just to see if I can get access to my other accounts. And Google makes it really difficult, but they actually provide it when you can assure your identity and things like that. So it's no simple task for someone to just, you know, get away with stealing your information or things like that that are really sensitive. And believe me, this just happened recently with me. I mean, I get frustrated, but I try to give myself the benefit of the doubt until I really figure out what to do. And sometimes when I finally feel like contacting Google, I kind of know the procedure they go through, and I have to provide some sort of proof of my identity, and they work really well with the users. And you know, if anybody has any doubts, there are many, and I trust those apps too, particularly developed by Google, because they bring the best of the whole experience. So if someone were to want to learn how to code, there are multiple apps that get you started, and there are many apps that get you a little bit more familiar with the Android system. I'm a person that likes to test these things out. I personally love the whole structure of it. So I'm always keeping my phone fresh, just so I could have the best potential speed to its potential. I like having options of using different apps and things like that of the sort. The thing I really you know find amazing though recently, they try to prepare people. It's sort of, I like to think, like, make the phone your friend. If you can make it your friend, as bizarre as it sounds, it seems sometimes like it might read your mind, and I find it hard to believe that it really is all these algorithms. But it is like Google Circles. The more you branch out, the more your own little Android device becomes familiar with your surroundings, and it just picks up so much that it's just out of our capacity in our mind how the computer is working on its own. And I, for one, would rather have it on my side than against. So that's why I say, kind of like, make the phone your friend. Try to trust it, but more than all, just know where the roots of the phone come from, and where it stems from. So I kind of rely on Google developed apps and things of the sort, just to kind of stay on top of things and kind of be familiar with what's going on. I don't like to hear it from others, or I don't like to hear things and come to negative results for myself. And believe me, being a paranoid person, I I mean, I feel everybody has the capacity to kind of reach out and find out what really works best for them and making them comfortable. But if they just read a little bit, if they read a little bit, especially the settings, this is my advice to anybody. Study the settings. If you study the settings, practice the functions, what every little button does, just to break it down in the most simplistic way for the Android system. I mean, try to find out what each one does. Don't go above and try to mess with things you don't know. Read it a little bit. It doesn't hurt. But the more you become familiar with it, it becomes so simple to maintain. I mean, for example, me, I like technology, so I couldn't have asked for anything better, right? As long as I have my device functioning and it's running, and I could have some sort of entertainment while I'm taking care of other things I have to do, I can't complain. But for the most part, I just want to say, what's up, Android and Google, BlackBerry 2, YouTube? I mean, you guys say reach out, right? So I just wanted to kind of introduce myself for that. And anybody has any questions or anything like that, feel free to contact me. You know, um, not shy about anything when it comes to this in the Android system. I love Android, and I think Google shouldn't uh, put aside Android. I mean, I read rumors. That's why I really get into it. But don't give up what made you really strong and gave you that final piece of structure. But at the same time, it's that last piece that holds a particular balance. So just like Google protecting people's privacy, I don't think anybody should have access of completely everything. and just let Google do their thing. I mean, they're doing the right thing, and I don't think there's anybody else doing it just how they have, and they're really passionate about protecting people's privacy, and it's no simple task. So just wanted to give my point of view on that. If it helps, I've been using Android operating system since it launched with the G1. I kid you not, I actually was kind of looking back at my G1. I had the G2 also. I've had all kinds of different devices. I particularly like those keyboard devices. I happen to like BlackBerry. I'm a BlackBerry fan. I just haven't come across another one since mine kind of gave out, the BlackBerry Priv. But for the most part, I mean, what's up with BlackBerry? I mean, nobody really recognizes BlackBerry and the potential BlackBerry has. I'm a big believer in BlackBerry. They're doing it right, I believe. It's just they need a little bit of flavor. They need a little bit of flavor to keep BlackBerry going. I mean, just because a device costs $1,000 doesn't mean it's the best device out there. There are phones, for example, that could be half the price and could do so much more. I mean, don't limit yourself to what's mainstream too. Feel free to like go out there. I mean, this computing world is it's evolving really fast that at one time, particular brands of computer were released, such as like Acer brands, which were a little bit, and then next thing you know, they're the computer of the year, and you know, Android has that variety. It gives you many options to play with different devices. It doesn't just keep you on one particular device. That's why I've never felt a need to let go of Android. I mean, no disrespect to Apple or anything, good job, props to them. I love the structure on their devices. That's why I like BlackBerry. They put a lot of effort into their devices. If people are really concerned about privacy, I'd say go BlackBerry. They're great devices. I still think this particular model of BlackBerry, the BlackBerry Priv, can do so much more than many of the devices that are mainstream today. I'm not saying it's the best device anymore. I personally think the BlackBerry Key 2 is one of the best devices out there right now. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not, for example, I like tablets when it comes to Samsung. I'm not a big fan of the phones themselves because I just, I like different functions on devices. I like the gadget aspect of devices. I like different ways of playing with the device. I like how this is a trackpad and how it becomes just a touch screen. It hurt me so much when I dropped it and broke my BlackBerry. But if I could probably find this device online somewhere, and just because of the capabilities, it could be like an extra little computer in your pocket. I like editing different types of papers and things like that if I really have to do something like that. The accessibility with the keyboard and the sliding functions, it makes it easier for me. I like using styluses too and different things of the sort to draw and just kind of test it out, push it to see what it can do. I don't like breaking or voiding the warranty on the manufacturer's device itself. I don't like, I like pushing the device to its full potential with what it already has available. And, just it's always been the same system for one. And they add new things every so often. And, I like the way they go about it, as much as I get frustrated, just like anybody else. But believe me, my thing is just kind of like a way to vent, I guess. But, at the very end, it's just, I'm all for it. I mean, nobody should have that ability to control everything just because they want. People put in their hard work and many years of work to create this sort of privacy for people, for people that aren't really involved to just come in and demand access to things like that, because that's just kind of ripping on somebody's hard work, and I understand that. So like I say, my only advice to Congress would be just try to work with them if situations really got hectic. I mean, while you're together, I mean, don't be scared to reach out and try to help each other. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Well, that was that. Hopefully everybody listened to this and enjoyed it or took some sort of insight, and feel free to contact me anytime. I'm right here. I always have my phone pretty close by, so just all right, everyone, take care. Peace out. Bye.